watching Good Day Columbus on Fox 28.
Good Day Columbus's own Katie Garner is here today, and she is working to help educate people about melanoma.
Katie was diagnosed with skin cancer when you were just 17. That's incredible. So now you're going to be part of this weekend's Walk for Melanoma. It's Miles for Melanoma. Jenna Dickman is also here this morning from the Melanoma Research Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Katie, let's start with your story.
Sure.
You were 17. You found a spot.
Yeah, I found a spot, and what happened was I was at a routine physical for cross country, and my physician was like, wow, you have these 2 spots. And we took them off, and then I got a call, and it was melanoma. And my family and I were not familiar with melanoma. I'd never laid out, I'd never tanned, never been to a tanning bed. So it was really odd, and I had to take a couple weeks off of cross country, which is something that I loved at the time, and it just really was not a great time in my life. But then I realized how lucky I was to find it early, because the earlier you find it, the doctor said had I been 21 when they found the spot, totally different story. When you catch it later, it can get into the bloodstream, and then you're talking chemotherapy, lymph node removal. For me, it was 2 plastic surgeries about that, long, about that deep, and the cancer was gone. And I've found 6 other spots after that were pre-cancer, and I go every 6 months to get checked because you just never know.
Jenna, we think about this as something for older people, not somebody who's 17 years old.
Right. Rates are increasing very rapidly. In the last 40 years, they've increased by 200%, and especially in folks under 35 years old. So it's happening to everyone. No one is exempt from this disease. There are obviously risk factors, things like if you have lighter skin, lighter colored hair, you have a greater risk, but it can happen to anyone. In fact, Bob Marley passed away from melanoma.
Is that right?
Yeah. He did.
Well, give us some of the signs, and I know we have the ABCDEs here.
So you should be doing monthly skin exams at home by yourself, checking your body from head to toe, and most importantly, seeing a dermatologist at least once a year. And they're going to check everywhere, your scalp and between your toes, your entire body. And so what they're looking for and what you should be looking for, melanomas tend to be asymmetrical, so if you draw a line down the middle of the mole, that is a mole there.
So
See how on that.
This would be like a freckle, and this would be something asymmetrical.
This is the mole, and so if you draw a line down the center of your mole, both sides should look the same. If they don't look the same, that could be concern for melanoma.
Wow.
B is for borders, so if the borders are irregular and jagged like this, that may be concerning. You want them to be smooth and even.
Okay.
The color, it should be one shade of tan or brown. If you're seeing any blue, blacks, any other shade, or
reds, all that.
Anything, yes, it's area of concern. And diameter, this is a pencil. It should be smaller than a pencil eraser.
Okay.
And then evolution is probably one of the most important keys. If you have a mole that is changing, it's getting larger, it's changing in color, or the border has changed, you really want to get those looked at immediately.
Now, how deep does something like that get? Is it usually right on the surface, or does it get deeper and deeper?
It varies. Like Katie explained, hers was probably not that deep. They caught it early, stage 1 or 2, but as it progresses, and melanoma is a very quickly spreading cancer, so as it progresses, it goes deeper into the skin, it gets into the lymphatic system, it can spread to other parts of the body, and it can be deadly.
And that's what I have heard too, is it'll metastasize, the cancer will metastasize in the brain or somewhere else.
It will. I lost my best friend at age 30. She died 9 months after she was diagnosed.
So young.
Yes.
Gosh, what a great reminder to get to the dermatologist. You don't think about having that as a health check every year.
Katie, you check yourself every day, every month?
Every single day I wake up, I put sunscreen on in the morning. Even if it's not a sunny day, I still put it on because that can still be a factor. And I do a full body check every day, which is really comfortable, but I do it every day, and it's so important. And actually I have my hairstylist check my head, because you can also find moles on your head, and so I check there as well. And I actually had a spot on my head.
Did you really?
So yeah. And you get them in weird spots. It's not always where you get sun. So you don't, you have to check everywhere and be aware of that.
And genetics is not a marker for this.
It is. Some of the cases are genetic. Over 90% of them are linked to UV rays. So the sun or artificial UV, tanning beds, things like that. So sunscreen is really important. Seeking shade, wearing protective clothing. You can prevent many of the cases, but some of it is genetic.
Great
Think
reminder.
about your ABCDEs
event
of melanoma.
We need to know about Saturday.
The event is Saturday in Gahanna, and you can register at melanoma.org. Take a look at our event calendar, and you can find the link to register or volunteer for the race there as well.
If we decide just to show up,
You can join my team, actually, if you want to. I'll be co-emceeing it with George Wolf.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, we're co-emceeing it. And
Good.
so do that. You can join my team, and the link will be on my Facebook page. And you can just show up as well. Do you have to? I think you have to register, though.
You can register online, or you can register in advance, or online, or the day of. And
Good.
we're also doing free skin exams there, so you don't have to be a
Really?
participant of the race. Come out and get your skin checked.
That's a
Wonderful.
great idea. Okay, well, thank you. I
Thank
mean,
you.
this
Thank you
is
both.
really helpful, ABCDE.
Be sure to check out the website. We're going to have all the details there for the Miles for Melanoma Walk. Go to myfox28columbus.com. Click on news links, and you'll find more there.
And Katie, do we have you to thank for the artwork?
You know it.
Thank you for that. We'll be right back.
'Cause this